Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode number 316 of Gun Freedom Radio, where we engage, we educate, and we inform. We are brought to you by azfirearmsauctions.com, where you set the price for firearms, ammo, and accessories. I am one of your hosts, Cheryl Todd.
And I'm the other guy, Dan Todd. Our theme today is Arizona Audit and the GOP, and our guest is Dr. Kelli Ward. Kelli is a physician and politician who has served as the chair of the Arizona Republican Party since 2019. She also served as the Arizona State Senate from 2012 to 2015. Welcome, Dr. Ward.
Yeah, welcome back to the show, Dr. Ward.
Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Dan. It's great
Hi.
to see you all. I apologize for my hat head, but hey, you got to go with the flow, and you guys are getting Kelli with a hat today.
I love it, actually. We have disturbed your Memorial Day weekend. We're sitting in the studio on Monday, May 31st, even though this posts a little bit later. And so I am glad to see that you are celebrating the freedoms that so many who have served and given the ultimate sacrifice fought and died for. And so you enjoy that hat hair.
Yes. Hey, I'm going to. And, Cheryl, just to touch on that, because watching what Kamala Harris and Joe Biden put up about this weekend, about the extra day off, enjoy the long weekend and stay cool, bro. I don't know, maybe he didn't say bro, but
Come on, man.
without any recognition of our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines that have given everything, the families that have sacrificed for this country, for our freedom, for our liberty. It is appalling and disgusting.
Yes.
And it feels purposeful, like for both of them to give such a tone deaf, checked out message. It really flies in the face of what Memorial Day always has been, and I hope always will be, and that is honoring people who have fought for American freedom and freedom around the globe. It's really I kept staring at my phone when I saw that come up. I'm like, this has got to be doctored in some way. This can't be really what she said and really what he said.
And then with her picture.
Yes, it's about them, don't you see?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sad. Well, and one thing we're trying to do in Arizona with the America's Audit that is going on right now is save our freedom, save our liberty, save our electoral system, make sure that voters have confidence that when they cast a vote, it's going to be counted that the way that they put it into the machine or into the box.
Mm-hmm. Well, and here's the thing that has just really stuck in my craw about the people that, for whatever their reasons are against the audit. You hear this phrase, it's like a constitutional crisis that we're having an audit, and the fact that we're calling into question how the election went is dangerous. And I'm thinking, you know what? This little document that is pretty much with me everywhere I go, it's our Constitution and our Bill of Rights. It is only possible. It is in my hands because our founders called into question how they were being governed. So if it's dangerous, then maybe it's dangerous for the right reasons. I mean, talk to us about that.
Well, what's dangerous is putting a system in place that so many people have doubts in, and understanding that we do have the capabilities through cybersecurity, auditing experts, etc., to make sure that this was the most secure, most transparent, greatest election that we ever had in our history, as the left likes to say, and as some Republicans, and I'll put that in quotes, like to say. If that's really the case, if that's really what they believe, they should be supporting this all out to prove what they've been saying. Instead, they've been fighting it at every step of the way.
Boy, exactly how I feel about it. And, we have been audited. We have a firearms business. So the ATF has audited us in that sense. And basically they're saying, like in high school or whenever with the math teacher, and they say, show us your work. And we're like, okay, here's our work. It wasn't a constitutional crisis. We've been
That's right.
audited by the IRS. They're basically saying, show us your work. We're like, okay,
Right.
here's our work. It's not a
But then show us
it's not
more work.
dangerous.
But then show us more
And
work.
then show us
And then
more
show
work.
us
Yes.
more
Yeah.
work.
Well,
But
and that's true.
yeah.
And, I was the director of medical education, I was over several medical residency training programs. And yes, we were doing everything right, but every so many years we had to prove it. And we had inspectors come in, they went over our plans, the things that we did. And then basically they gave us gold stars to say, you're great. Why doesn't Katie Hobbs want a gold star about Arizona's elections? Why doesn't Stephen Richer want a gold star? Why don't the Maricopa County supervisors want those gold stars? That's what you got to wonder.
Kelly, I kind of think they're not going to get a gold star. Okay. I just have that feeling. I mean, you look at the equipment, you look at all the conversation, you look at everything, they're not going to get a gold star. And that's the problem. They want a gold star or they don't want nothing at all.
Right. Well, and they also want to tell us that they gave themselves a gold star and that we should just believe it.
Right.
And unfortunately, many people, Republicans, independents, and Democrats don't believe the results of this last election.
Yeah. The
Nick,
greatest
okay.
thing we could find.
Okay, I have to tell you,
Okay.
if I ever get audited again,
Yes.
I'm just going to say, you know what? My grandchild audited us.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
And leave it at
Yeah,
that.
I looked over my own books and I
Yeah,
did it
I'm fine.
right. So we're done
Right.
here, right?
Come on.
Well, what I was going to say is the greatest thing we could find out from this audit is that it really was done perfectly. That would be amazing. I
Yes,
think
it
we
would.
all celebrate that.
That's not going to happen.
Well, I'm
That's
just saying
why.
it would be good if it did.
Yes, it
And
would.
so it's not like everybody that wants the audit is salivating thinking, ooh, we're going to find out bad things. Some people are really sitting back going, please let us find out that it
Wait a
went
minute.
well.
We
right?
want an audit because we know there's just some things wrong.
Mhm.
It's just wrong.
Well, and that's life. Even if it's just human error or if it's a glitch in the
Right.
system or whatever, let's find out what those things are so that we can do it better in the
I'm
future.
totally agree with
Why
that.
is this such a
Yeah.
crazy idea? And so some of the people who are against the audit are actually, in air quotes, Republicans, right? They've got the big R, red R on their chest. They got that cape waving in the background. But yet they're for some reason not in favor of checking our work. So that's causing other people to say that there's like a rift or a tear or a division in the Republican Party as a whole. You sit at the top of the AZ GOP. What does it look like from where you're sitting?
Right. Well, there really is no rift. The Republicans who are commenting on this, everyone from Cindy McCain to Jeff Flake to Mitt Romney and others, have never been involved in the party proper, with the activists, with the grassroots, especially here in Arizona. I mean, when's the last time you saw Cindy McCain or Meghan McCain? Also, his son, Jack McCain, his name's being thrown around as a potential candidate for U.S. Senate to take that seat. I've never seen Jack McCain in my life. I certainly have never seen him at a Republican event. I've never seen him knock on a door. I've never seen him make a phone call. And just because someone has a name that some people recognize, it's no reason to elevate them to a position either as a senator or as someone whose opinion should matter to the rest of us who are on the ground, who are in this fight, who are talking to voters across the spectrum every single day. I have my finger on the pulse of the Republican Party, and that's not just the people who are precinct committeemen and state committeemen and elected to office. It's regular, everyday people who care about the future of this nation and want to know what they can do to make sure that their vote counts and that they can have confidence in the election. That's why they are so supportive of America's audit.
Boy, that's the case. And I like how you say that it's not necessarily a rift in the party or a tearing of the party. There's individuals who are behaving as individuals and speaking as individuals, but yet they want to act like they're somehow, a spokesperson for.
Well,
the rest
And
of
you
us.
know, the mainstream media, the leftists that are in local media or national media are going to seek those people out because they want to create the perception that there's a rift here, when the vast majority of people in Arizona, Republicans in Arizona, independents in Arizona, want this audit done, and they want it done correctly so that they can move forward knowing that our country is in good hands.
Absolutely. And I have to explain, Dan had to jump up. So we are small business owners.
Yes.
And when you're a small business owner, you're never free on and off the clock. And so we just got a call from our alarm company that something wacky is going on with the alarm.
Gotta go check it. Gotta
Yeah.
go check it.
Hopefully it's just the alarm malfunctioning and it's nothing more than that. But breaking news, we'll find out when
right.
Dan comes back in the room. So I apologize for that. So we do have, only months until we will be having another election here in the state of Arizona and all across the nation. We've got a lot of work to do between now and then. We really hopefully will find out if there's any errors in the election process and get that squared away. We also have to raise up new leaders who we're asking to step into this. It's like a blood sport, this political field. And then we've got to support them and really truly elect people who are constitutionalists and people who really want to serve as public servants. And I, I'll check with Dan. Dan, is everything good?
Everything
Yeah.
is fine.
Okay, good. All right. So, and there goes the phone again. So how do we do all of these important things in the next few months?
Yes. Well, I think first and foremost that you have to take everything that the mainstream media says with a grain of salt, and maybe a lot of grains of salt if you're a Republican, because there's a lot of misleading going on, whether it's on the air, whether it's on the radio, or whether it's on social media. Kind of take a little break away from that, reconnect with your family, your friends, your community, and then get together talking about what you think is important. Look at those political parties and then get to work for them. Stop being distracted by the people that want to distract you from doing the actual work, and get to work. We do have some great candidates. I think we're going to have very robust primaries come August of 2022. There are going to be people who put themselves out there, who are willing to be filleted open by the press and by their opponents, and are willing to stand strong because they care so much about this state and this nation. So, find your people, support whoever you want in those primaries. Point out the terribleness of the Democrats' policies and the Democrats running in those races, rather than attacking Republican on Republican during the primary, so that we go strong into November of 2022 and we win.
Yes, absolutely. So right now, considering, again, we're sitting in the studio Monday, May 31st, 2021. There's still an audit going on. We're a few months from an election. But the audit is so important, and it has to, it can't go on for forever and ever. It's got to get wrapped up. What is the most important thing for the citizens of Arizona to know and to do right now concerning the audit?
Well, one, they have to know that this audit is legitimate. It's being done by professionals who are experts in the field of cybersecurity and auditing of these exact kinds of events, that they are bringing in volunteers to count and to observe. Those volunteers are all vetted by a private company. It's not as though Kelli Ward and the Republican Party brings our whole army of Republican activists in and we do it all. No, this is going through a very professional process. And when it comes out, we will have a complete hand count of about 2.1 million votes. We will know about the legitimacy of the ballots themselves. We will talk about how Maricopa County has stored and taken care of those ballots properly or improperly. and we will know as much as we can find out about those machines that were used to tabulate the vote. Because remember, Dominion is still obstructing the process.
Right. Kelli, so when I talk to people about this, because I do believe that we need to do an audit. I mean, I'm 100%, but they tell me we've already done audits. We've already done that. There's no need to do it again. It's just the taxpayers' money. What do you say to that?
I mean, that's just a bunch of malarkey, as Biden would say. It's malarkey. What they did, they had two companies that are associated with Dominion, actually, in some way, come in and do a logic and accuracy test. So they took, I believe, around 10,000 ballots. And they said, here's what we think these ballots say. We're going to run them through those exact same machines, and we're going to see if the result is the same. That just tests on that particular little pile of ballots whether the machine counts it the same way. It doesn't tell you if the machine counted it accurately in the first place.
Right.
And that's what the hand count is going to show us.
So we're going to count all the hand count, and we're
Yes.
going to make sure that they're not duplicates, things like that.
Yes.
And then they're going to see what the machine says, and that will expose the truth.
Yes, and one of the big concerns that Karen Fann, Senate President Fann, wrote in her letter to the Board of Supervisors was regarding those duplicated ballots. A lot of people don't realize that in Arizona and in some other states as well, if your ballot, your paper ballot, won't run through the machine for some reason, then a nice employee from the county will redo your ballot for you. They'll take your paper ballot, they'll get another paper ballot, and they will fill it in exactly the way you
Sure
did,
they will.
supposedly. It's supposed to be being monitored. There's supposed to be two parties that are watching this being done. That isn't always the case. But in Arizona, the law is in statute that if there is a ballot that's duplicated, the duplicated ballot and the original have to be associated with each other and have a serial number printed on them. The duplicate also has to be clearly marked that it is a duplicate. And when the auditors got the ballots from Maricopa County, they found duplicated ballots with no originals. That smells funny.
Yes.
And remember, every single military ballot. So we're talking about Memorial Day a little bit today. Every single military ballot is duplicated because of the way they come in to Maricopa County and to the rest of the state. So are our military men and women who took the time to vote being disenfranchised either through mistakes in transcribing or outright stealing of their votes? We don't know, but this audit's going to tell us a lot about that.
So Kelli, I mean, I don't know who is coming to do the audit now, but could I safely say that whoever does this audit, whatever the results are from this audit, that I could believe is an accurate audit and that there's the final? Would I be able to say that?
I believe yes. I mean, I would like to have all the information from Dominion to
Right.
be 100% certain. But as you know, Dominion is refusing to give the secondary password that allows technician or administrative access to those machines. So we can't right now tell if those machines in Maricopa County have a Verizon wireless card in them that could connect to the internet, because that is something that we can't get the password to check. So I would say that yes, this audit is being done legitimately and professionally, but there are pieces that we still need to have to be 100% certain about what happened in this election.
Right. But the county and manual counting is it doesn't really need the machine to figure that out.
That's right. And the manual counting is being done. I don't know if you all have heard this. There basically are three people that look at every single ballot. They tally those ballots for the presidential and for the senatorial races. And after every 100 ballots, they make sure that they were all in agreement as to how they were counted and what the votes were. So that's very, very good. But if we have ballots that are not legitimate and they've been being counted, we also have to expose that.
Right.
Yes, for sure.
And how long
And
do you
we
think, I'm sorry, one other question to know. How long do you think it's going to take for that to be done?
Well, I think they're expecting that they will be done by the end of June with the count. But that doesn't mean that we're going to immediately get a report, because, you know, we're Americans. We want everything fast. We want it now. We want it no. But they have to take everything that they find, and then they have to analyze it, and then they have to write a report for the state Senate. So it may be a few months even after June 30th before we have the final report that we get to find out about.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being part of making that happen.
Absolutely. And you are
Push, push, push. That's what I got to do.
Yeah. And so the people that have come to be volunteers
Mhm.
and help with this audit, I have talked to people just that I know, and they're not all just Republicans that are
Right.
volunteering, right? There,
Yes.
there are people from all across the political spectrum who have volunteered to be a part of this historic event. And I believe that, since it is still ongoing, that there are still volunteers needed. Am I right?
Yes. Yes. You can still volunteer at fundtheaudit.com/volunteer. Fundtheaudit.com/volunteer. You can sign up right there. To sign up, you have to be a registered voter in Maricopa County, and you have to have voted in the 2020 election.
Very good.
So those are the criteria, but you don't have to be a Republican. You don't have to be a Democrat. Everyone has been invited to this process.
That is awesome. So Kelly, one other question, if I could, what if the results, not what if, when the results come in that there's been some finagling done, what happens then?
Well, I think that that's the big question, because this has never happened that we know of, and we've been able to prove in our nation's history. So I've seen some people out there, some pundits kind of pontificating about what they think. They think that Donald Trump can't be reinstated, that there's no hope for that all we can do is fix what's happening in the future. But I think that these are unprecedented times, and there are going to have to be unprecedented solutions. I mean, just because, so say that we prove that Biden and Harris did not win in Arizona, and maybe in these other states as well, probably in these other states as well. Does that mean that Nancy Pelosi suddenly becomes the president? I vote no. I vote no. Because President Trump loves to use the analogy of if you are a crook and you go into Tiffany's and you steal a bunch of diamonds, and then you get caught in 2 weeks or 2 years, you still have to give back the diamonds, and you still have to be punished for what you did. And that's kind of like what's happening here. If people stole an election and someone else legitimately won it, just because bogus certifications were done, it doesn't mean that suddenly now the Constitution kicks in and Nancy Pelosi becomes the president. No, we can't let that happen.
Right.
No.
And to that point, there's been so many people that I've talked to, over the course of, the last few months, that anytime I bring up, the idea of auditing the election, or, questioning authority, God forbid we should question authority anymore these days, they automatically make that leap. Oh, well, you just wanted Trump to win, and this is all about trying to get Trump reinstated, and you're one of those crazy conspiracy theorists. And, if he legitimately won, then okay, yeah, absolutely. But it isn't just about that. It is truly about making sure that when we are asking our next generation to step into this ring, this rough and tumble ring of politics and public service, everything that they have to go through, they have to get their family on board. They have to raise money. They have to knock on doors. They have to, really get out there and be with the people. They go to all this effort, take time out and energy out of their families and their businesses and their jobs, that it matters, that it counts for something.
Yes.
Right. And there isn't just somebody behind the scenes. Like if this HR1, this For the People Act, which, the name tells you right there, it's really the opposite, right? Like Affordable Care Act. It really was not affordable. And the For the People
And
Act.
there was no care. There was
And no care,
Yeah,
right?
it's
And
for the Politicians Act is what it is. It's for the elitists, for the rulers, not for the ruled. So, and I don't want to be ruled. I want to be led.
Yeah.
And bills like HR1 put us into an un-American state in our country. And I think I hope that enough Democrats are still patriotic and love this country, who are in positions of power right now, who have been elected to office, to never, ever, ever let that see the light of day.
Surely we got to have some Democrats that believe in part of the Constitution.
Yeah. Well, they have to read it first. So
Yeah.
I always encourage on my show for everyone, this document, look at that.
Yep.
It's so little. It's so thin. Nowadays, I don't think that would even be, the opening statement of a bill, because every bill has to be 49 gajillion pages long. But our Constitution in its original form, in this pocket form, it's 49 pages. It takes an hour and a half to read. And I guarantee you, we have people who have been elected to office in every state of this nation who have never cracked the cover, and
That's
they
right.
don't know what it means.
Republicans and Democrats.
Republicans.
It's true. It's true. When I was in the legislature, and even now, I read it regularly, because you have to know when legislation was coming before us. My questions were, is this a government function? That was number one. If it was a government function, is it constitutional? If it couldn't pass those two tests, then it had to go away. It had to be a no from me. And I wish everyone who was in legislative positions of power, I wish they all would use those criteria, because we would probably have a lot less malarkey and a lot better bills.
The people that follow the Constitution, they would be our representatives. The people that don't follow the Constitution would be known as leaders. Rulers.
Rulers.
And that's the problem, is there's too many that want to rule.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so, that's the
Well,
thing.
and you know that the rules that they pass are for us, not for them. And we've
Right.
seen that with the masks. Okay, so
Oh.
they want to impose mask mandates on the masses, but they, whether it's Whitmer, from Michigan, or Lori Lightfoot in Chicago, or even Governor Ducey, when they don't think the cameras are rolling, the masks are off. And
Right.
so, who benefits from that? It's the people that want us compliant, that want us to not question authority. And I think that during COVID, they've utilized an infection in order to see how far they can push our American society, that is supposed to love freedom and love liberty and love our Constitution, to the left.
Well, if all of you wear masks, me as a ruler, I wouldn't need to wear a mask, right? So
Yes.
Newsom.
Newsom in California, for
Yep.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, we will start wrapping up and let you get back to enjoying your staying cool long weekend, as our president and vice president said. I truly,
Come on, man.
come on, man. I know you and Mike, and I know that you have a deep reverence for our state, our nation, for the people who have fought, bled, and died to secure the freedoms that we have. And so I say those things tongue in cheek. But it is important, I think, to celebrate what their sacrifice has given us. So I
And
think
save it.
yes,
Yeah.
and save it.
Celebrate it, and then be willing when it's your time to do what needs to be done to save our republic. Be ready to do it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so how do people follow the work that you do as the head of the GOP here in Arizona, or whatever future roles you might be thinking about playing? I don't know. You want to announce anything?
No, I'm not planning anything right now, Cheryl. And people are funny because they think I'm running for everything, and I'm not running for anything. I'm right here. I talked to President Trump about a week ago. He said, I need you right where you are. Doing the job of keeping Republicans on track. And by on track, we mean America first. We believe in America first policies that make American people prosperous, happy, healthy, economically secure, and more. That's what America first means. So we've got to do it. So that's one of the reasons I do a daily update. Not just me. I have our first vice chair, Pam Kirby, does some. Our assistant sergeant at arms, Chris King, has done one. And, Austin Smith, president of the Arizona Young Republicans, has done a few, and plans to do more, because the party isn't just me, it's all of us. And so we do a daily update about legislation or, HR1 or something that's happening at the legislature. I also have been doing an audit update fairly regularly. So you can find all of those on the Republican Party of Arizona's social media. On Facebook, it's Arizona Republican Party. You have to type out Arizona because whoever created that page way before our time didn't get AZGOP as their handle. But on every other platform, YouTube, Twitter, etc., it's at AZGOP. So you can find it all there. Of course, you can follow me. I'd love to have you follow me on social. I'm at Kelli Ward AZ across the board, Kelli with an I, because I care about the people. You probably won't see me with my hat head too often. Every now and then you might, but go there, find out what's happening. They're short. Oh, we also added a Spanish language version of the update as well. Those should be coming out about once a week. So people that speak Spanish, you can find out. We met a young man here that lives in LD27, wants to get involved. He's of Latino descent, speaks Spanish. He said they never tell us any of this on Univision or on Telemundo. So we are working to get the word out, but we can't do it alone because those mainstream outlets aren't going to do it for us. So we have to share it with our friends, share it on your pages, share it across the board so that people get engaged, educated, and informed.
Absolutely.
Even on
well
your day
done.
off, even on your day off, you've got to do that.
Absolutely. That is
Yep.
fantastic. And thank you so much for all that you do, even when you are having some time off, whatever that is, in air quotes, because you're like us, when you're small business
Right.
people, when you're working for the people, there really is no time off. But we love what we do. We feel blessed with the work that God's given us. I know you feel the same.
Yep.
And we just really appreciate you, Miss Kelli Ward, Dr. Kelli Ward.
Thanks, Cheryl. Thanks, Dan. Keep up
Thanks.
the great
Bye-bye.
work. Together,
Bye-bye.
we're going to save the Republic.
Yes, we
Amen.
are. Thank
All
you.
right. Bye-bye
Bye-bye.
now.
Bye-bye.
We talk about all the people that have given their life to keep us free. And we're also talking about all the people that are willing to just let it go because it's convenient.
Hmm.
And it's sad. Because if you think about what your dad, your grandfathers, your great grandfathers, and their great grandfathers, what they did to make our country safe
Mhm.
and keep us
Prosperous
free.
and innovative and all the things that America is, the United States is. Um, it's really it's shocking, really, when you think how sometimes we just want to delegate to someone else or abdicate our responsibilities to someone else. And I think it's easier to abdicate our responsibilities as citizens when we don't know for ourselves the reasons why we even have a United States.
Right.
People think it just, I think I said this on another one of our episodes. It's like, and so then on the eighth day or the ninth day, God just, poof, there's the United States. No, that isn't how it worked. It took people, shopkeepers, farmers, people like you and us to step up and realize that the government was not serving the people, that the people had become basically their milk cows,
Right.
right? That they were the sheep to be sheared whenever they needed. And our founders, you know, they put everything on the line. Are we even asking people nowadays to put everything on the line?
We're hardly we're hardly asking them to put anything on the
I
line.
know. We're saying get involved. We're saying, maybe run for school board, like, support,
Educate your children.
educate your children, read your constitution, show up and vote. We really are asking so little of ourselves and each other these days by comparison
Right.
to
If we're
what our
not careful,
founders
we're
went
going to
through.
ask for a lot more in the long run if we don't do it now.
It's true. That's so true. So, anyway, we just value and appreciate the people that are, you know, putting their efforts, putting their money where their mouths are, right? And so, you know, Dr. Kelli Ward, she has taken so much criticism and blowback and people calling her all kinds of, wacky names. And there are a lot of people that wouldn't have been able to stand up to that. They
Right.
might have caved by now and either, you know, started, well, okay, and I'll let the audit go and you're right, just to save their own skin, their own sanity.
Right.
But I just love that Dr. Kelli Ward and her husband Mike, they are the right people at the right moment in the right
They're like a
place.
bulldozer. They're just going to keep going.
Yeah, but with such good humor.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Like I have never encountered her uh where she's like, "Man, I just don't know about all this and it's just a lot of work." She just has, the energy and the right attitude, and she knows she's doing everything for the right reasons. It's not, for their own gratification,
No,
because
definitely not.
that would wear you out
No.
really quick.
No.
She understands that she is working for something much bigger and much more important. And again, I'm picking up and holding my United States Constitution. So that's what we're talking about. All right, kids, we have got to get on out of here.
You always
But
say that.
do I always say
Yeah,
that?
you always tell me we got to go. We got
Well,
to
what
go. We got to
would
get
you
out of
like
here.
to stick around and
I just
what would you like to talk
I
about?
would just like to talk more about this election
Do you want
thing.
to unpack that a little bit?
I do. I
Okay.
want to unpack.
How are you
I want.
feeling
Yeah.
about that, Dan?
What's my what is my takeaway?
Yeah, what's your takeaway?
The elections, and for all of you with this audit of the elections, that I think a lot of you are afraid that the election was fraud,
Mm.
but then now what do we do? And I think that
So it's easier to look away.
so it's easier to just let it go, because what do we do? Where I think that we need to get to the bottom of this, we need to do something about it. We can't just say, oh, well, he's still our president, he's still our senator. I think that Arizona is a red state.
Hmm.
I think it is still a strong red state,
Hmm.
but they have tendency to say now that it's kind of bluish, purple or whatever.
Purple.
And I don't agree with that. And I would love, hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Hmm.
But I would like for the election results to come in so that we really know where we are.
Absolutely.
And
Agree.
that the main thing is so that we can prevent this from happening again.
Absolutely.
So
I'm right there with
we
you.
need to go forward with this audit.
Audit.
That's
Audit. Yeah.
that's all I got to say. And to really thank our guest, Dr. Kelli Ward,
Absolutely.
for
We do.
yeah,
I'm so glad that she is in the position she's in, because she is unflappable and she is a stick to itive minded person.
and she's
Is that a word?
extremely influenceable. I mean, she influences. She people listen to her.
Right.
The younger generation
Influencer.
influencer.
Yeah,
The
for
younger
sure.
generation is. Hey, I don't know these big words, but they're listening to her,
Yeah, absolutely.
and
Because she's grounded in something sound.
right,
She's grounded in the
right,
Constitution. She's
right.
not pulling things out of the thin air. But
So she's what she's doing now is great. It's really
absolutely.
good. So
So, thank you to Dr. Kelli Ward and to her husband for loaning her to us for a little bit of time while they are trying to have, some time together, some time off, whatever that is, after such a crazy busy season that still has
yes,
a lot of busyness looking forward for them. So appreciate that. Thank you to our amazing listeners all over the world. And I do know that the Arizona audit, it has the eyes of the world on it. This
right,
is not just, a few people in Arizona that are interested. This is not even people in the United States who are interested. The entire world is looking and watching to see what we do. It is that important.
yes.
So if you have time to volunteer, please go to that website. Let
Even
me
if you
look at
believe
it,
that the audit is a waste,
fundtheaudit.com.
yeah, if you think it's a waste, go there and prove them wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you have missed any portion of this particular episode or any of our episodes, you can find us at our website for the audio only version at gunfreedomradio.com. Click the on demand tab and binge listen to your heart's content.
Darling.
And if you want to watch these videos, watch our episodes, you can go to the smartphone app called Ops Lens. You can go to YouTube, unless we've gotten kicked off by now because we actually said the words
Audit,
audit, Donald
Republican,
Trump. We
Democrat,
said the word
the
Dominion,
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
yes. So we may not be available on YouTube anymore.
Right.
Who knows?
And I just want to let you guys know I do look a lot better in the audio version.
In the audio. Oh, you're cute. And another way to watch us on video is Gunstreamer, and they don't censor anybody.
No.
So I love Gunstreamer, and I
You can
highly
even say
encourage
poop
you.
on there.
You can say, okay, Dan. And on that note, we are going to head on out, and I'm going to ask you, as we do every single show, please, this is not just a tagline, this is
No,
for real.
it is for real.
Please pray for our nation. Pray for the people who have been put in positions of responsibility and leadership and entrusted with being representatives of we the people, the governed. Please pray for our leaders, even the ones you don't like, maybe especially the ones that you don't like. And until next time, be good to each other, right?
Yep.
Have a great week, and God bless.
God bless. Bye bye.